Warning! This program contains irrefutable facts, unapologetically biased opinions, and shameless homerism for the Southeastern Conference and its teams. Misguided fans of other leagues and teams may find some of the information in this broadcast to be disillusioning, deflating, or even offensive. You've been warned. Kip, Terry, Tony, Legend, Case, and our special guests, we own the airwaves. Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. on Jocks 94.5. It's game time. Saturdays, 10:30, ABC 3340 television. Get ready for the SEC on ABC and get in the starting lineup. And on Sundays, 9 a.m. on Jocks, it is Kip and Terry after a great day of football, the morning after. Football weekend, total information domination.
Welcome back to another starting lineup. I'm Tony Curry along with Kip Keefer. Man, we had a full show today. I mean, we got everyone from Terry doing the Coach's Corner. We got the Legends Cave. We got to be doing picks. We got all kinds of. We got our money roll. By the way, congratulations on going 3-0 this past week. Very nice.
Thank you
went
very
2-1. You and I are the tops of the leaderboard for that.
That's right.
We'll have some more.
You're looking at
plays.
them right here, the elite.
We'll have some more plays. I've got a 22-point dog winning outright.
Oh, my gosh.
On the show today. Speaking of winner chicken dinner, we had our good friend Stuart Rome on from the Woodhouse Day Spa last week. And if you were watching the show, he gave you the Stuart Rome Woodhouse Day Spa word of the day. 205-542-1848, 205-542-1848. If you know what that word is, call me right now. I will answer the phone. You want a $100 gift card to the Woodhouse Day Spa, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. SEC football, big time this weekend. Probably the biggest twist, Tennessee hosting those Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one in Knoxville and Neyland Stadium. People don't realize Georgia has beaten Tennessee now eight times in a row. And the other big one, down on the Bayou, what kind of Florida team is going to show up to take on the LSU Tigers in Baton Rouge on Saturday night?
By the way, the last four times, well, the only four times that Josh Heupel and Kirby Smart have coached against each other, the average score, Georgia 34, Tennessee 14.
Wow.
You may see Tone the Bone jumping on that Georgia minus 3.5 line a little bit later on in the show. And you also have a really interesting ball game, that Notre Dame game, obviously is going to be a big ball game as well against A&M. And, of course, you've been on A&M all year.
Yeah, I just thought they were kind of a sleeping giant. They had a lot of guys come back. They had an experienced quarterback in Marcel Reed. I'm still not sure about Notre Dame. Some people thought the Miami performance was pretty good. I thought Miami kind of let their foot off the gas and almost cost them. But this is going to be an intriguing matchup. I think A&M's going to give them a tough game in right below touchdown Jesus on Saturday.
We love talking local around here. Of course, the UAB Blazers, they're going to play the Akron Zips this weekend at a Protective Stadium. We also have the Auburn. Yeah, they've got a zip. They got outscored 78-0 so far this year. So maybe UAB can get a victory. They're favored by 11.5. You got the Auburn Tigers favored by about 25.5 against South Alabama. The big ball game, at least for here, the Big Ten, SEC. I know how much you love the Big Ten.
Oh, I love the Big Ten.
Whiskey comes a-calling there to Bryant-Denny Stadium. And, of course, that game's cut up the top of the hour. 11 o'clock this morning, so we're so happy to be welcoming all the Alabama fans a little early. Yeah.
Stay right here. You see the Tide, 21.5-point favorite over the visiting Badgers.
Did they get it right last week? I mean, we got fat. They put 70-plus up. Was it for real? We'll find out. Top of the hour, Alabama, Wisconsin, right here on the starting lineup every Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right here on ABC 3340.
Look at this fantastic crowd who joined us at Social Taco for football weekend. Information domination kickoff happy hour party. It was fantastic. Hope you can join us in the future. We're going to be gathering every week to get you ready for football and to give everybody a chance to appear on the starting lineup. It is football weekend. Information domination at Social Taco. Big turnout for this happy hour party. And it's time for our weekly segment, Book It or Bet It. It's time for Vegas, Bet It or Book It. Our weekly segment, we're going to ask our three fans for their best bet of the weekend. We're going to start with Jade. Jade, who you got?
You can take the girl out of Tennessee, but you can't take the Tennessee out of the girl. I'm going to have to go with Tennessee.
Oh, go Big Orange, a 3.5-point underdog at home at Neyland Stadium. We'll see what Case has to say about that. Next up is Yancey. He's going to tell us who he likes this weekend on the college football gridiron. Yancey, who you got?
Alabama and Auburn will win this weekend.
Oh, we've got a double dip.
Yes.
All right.
Both of them will win this weekend.
All right. Yancey's an Alabama guy, and he's going with the local teams. It should be a lot of fun. We'll see what Case Keefer in Las Vegas has to say about these picks.
Bet on Alabama and Auburn. You will win.
Okay. Pretty cut and dried.
That's right. Straight to the point.
Nice. Our most colorful guest here at the party, it's no contest. It's Lita. Lita, you're a big football fan. Who's the best bet of the weekend?
Auburn.
Auburn Tigers, giving South Alabama 20-something points. You're pretty confident in these Tigers.
I am, definitely.
That's good. Lita, big-time Auburn fan. She's sticking with the home team, the Tigers, and we'll see what Case Keefer has to say about that in Book It or Bet It.
Hey, it's Case Keefer back again for the second ever edition of Book It or Bet It, and it can't go worse than the first. I went 0-3, losing the one I bet with you guys, and also losing the two that I booked against you, so congratulations to the first contestants. Let's get to the next three, and we are going to start with Jade, who likes Tennessee plus 3.5, hosting Georgia. This was an easy decision for me. I'm going to bet it with you, Jade. I like the Volunteers here. I would pump the brakes at 3. I personally bet it at a little bit better price, but anything above 3, above that field goal, I think is good. I just haven't seen enough from Gunnar Stockton to where I'm going to trust him to lay points on the road. I think the personnel mismatch isn't as big as it has been in past years here, so I think Tennessee can get over the hump and knock off Georgia in an upset in their home stadium. Next, we are moving to Lita, who likes Auburn minus 26, and now we can halt the harmony and amp up the animus because I will book this, no question. First of all, you could get a much better price than this. Auburn down to about a 24.5-point favorite now. They have a big game on deck next week. Not the type of spot where I want to lay big points. And I was impressed with South Alabama, giving Tulane a scare last week, leading for a lot of that game, an easy cover. So give me South Alabama plus 26. I will book it. We'll finish off with Yancey, who takes Alabama minus 21. This was the toughest call of the three for me this week, but I am going to go with my gut and say book it. I'll take Wisconsin plus 21. I just like that they're kind of going back to their roots. They're going to pound the ball. They're going to run down the play clock. I don't think there will be as many plays in this game, which means a lesser chance for Alabama to run up the score. Now, I am worried if they fall into a big hole early that Danny O'Neal is not the type of quarterback to back up, of course, after Billy Edwards got hurt, that's going to bring them back and make it competitive. But I think that they have the setup, and we've seen Alabama's rush defense hasn't been great, at least in week 1 this year, of course. So I am going to say book it with Wisconsin, book it with South Alabama, and I am betting the Volunteers with you. Thanks for joining me for another edition of Book It or Bet It.
Step back into the groove and then into the Birmingham Racecourse Casino.
Check this out. It's all happening here.
The Birmingham Racecourse Casino is the local place to win.
Good times right here.
Let the Birmingham Racecourse Casino bring the good times to you. The Birmingham Racecourse Casino, where the good times roll.
Where you could be a winner too. Yeah, boy.
Welcome back. I'm Terry Quillian, and you are in the Coach's Corner on the starting lineup. This week we have Billy Napier. I know, I'm sorry, y'all, but really, I watched his press conferences both after the game and on Monday, and I just could not do this. So we have to talk about Sunbelt Billy just a little bit. In his press conference on Monday, I heard Billy saying that the most important thing when you had a loss like this was that you take responsibility and look for what you can fix. Let's look at Billy taking responsibility in this game. One of the things when you listen after the game that just about everybody was upset with is the clock management in the final minutes of the game. And if you weren't tuned into it, here's a small idea of what happened. So there are 2 minutes and 49 seconds left in the game. Florida is up by 1 point and they have the football. Interesting, right? 2 minutes, 49 seconds. You've supposedly got one of the best quarterbacks in America. Surely you can bleed the clock on that. As Lee Corso would say, not so fast, my friend. Billy Napier elects to throw a pass on first down, which is incomplete. Second down play is a run. Third down play is Another pass. Oh my goodness. They punt and USF gets the ball back at 2:21, 2:49, and they get the ball back at 2:21. Yikes, what is happening here? So USF marches down the field. Now keep in mind, Billy's got 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning coming up, right? You think he would figure out, with what's supposed to be one of the best quarterbacks in the nation, how to be able to get the ball back in time to go down the field and score, regardless of what USF does. Because remember, at this point, we have got Florida up in the game. However, even though he has 2 timeouts, Billy doesn't choose to use them until the very last minute of the game, squandering that and allowing USF to kick a field goal that's basically a walk-off field goal at this point. Absurd. But now here is what Billy said after the game, and I find this just amazing. I'm looking at my notes to make sure I get it right for y'all. He said, there's going to be a field goal called regardless of when those timeouts get called. It's going to end up basically the same. This audience is full of very football savvy folks, and I don't think anybody thinks it's going to end up the same regardless of when the timeouts get called, unless you have absolutely no faith in your offense and your quarterback to be able to go down the field maybe with 1.5 minutes, maybe even 2 minutes left on the clock and make something happen. But here's Billy. He's going to call all the plays, and boy, he did a bang-up job in those last 3 minutes of that game. So he got asked in the press conference, hey, have you thought about giving up the play calling duties? No. Is there any chance somebody else will be calling the plays? No. That is just not going to happen. Now, this is really interesting because the narrative out there is that Billy Napier is the nicest guy in the world. And I don't know Coach Napier. Maybe he is the nicest guy in the world. But I'll tell you what, if that's the case, he's the nicest guy in the world whose ego is really hurting the Florida football program. I mean, let's look around. Supposedly, at the end of last year, the deal was he was going to keep his job, but the rumor mill was he had to hire an offensive coordinator. Did he go out and do that? No. He promoted Russ Callaway on the staff. Nothing against Russ, but we all know that's not an offensive coordinator who's taking over the offense and certainly not taking over play calling duties. Look at other coaches who've done this. 2 years ago, Ryan Day was in deep, deep trouble. He goes out, he hires Chip Kelly, wins a national championship. Do you think Ryan is sad that he gave up play calling duties? Also, look here closer to home. We've got Mike Norvell. His claim to fame was offensive genius. Things were not going really well. He goes out and hires Gus Malzahn. Look how that worked out for him. Billy Napier says, nah, I'm good. I don't think Gator Nation is good. Something needs to get better down in Gainesville.
Welcome to the Legend Cave, ladies and gentlemen, where few men have ever stood. I'm talking Tupac, I'm talking Ronnie Van Zant, Taylor Hicks, and 2 of the greats of all time, Tony Curry and Kip Keefer. They came down to the Legend Cave to make sure the legend was okay.
Yeah.
Because if you remember last week, I had went to the edge and almost jumped off. But last week we went to Cupcake City. We got happy. We destroyed Louisiana Monroe by 70-something to nothing. They got all them cupcakes. I'm back to my old self. Tony, the Badgers are in town today. What can we expect?
So Kalen DeBoer has beaten a team that Nick Saban lost to.
Hey,
At Alabama.
there's hope. Man, there's hope. Man, there's
Just
hope.
saying. Hey, listen, there's 2 different sides of
I
Badgers.
didn't mean to spit in you out there, brother.
There's the Badgers about 4 or 5 years ago that would go to a rabbit hole and just chase everything out. There's this Badger that likes to play dead like a possum. That's the one you're getting this year.
I love it. Kip, what do you see about this game? What Alabama needs to do today, Kip?
Just stay the course, play smart, don't turn the ball over. This is a team, Wisconsin, that their only chances of Alabama self-destructs because the talent level, we saw it last year in Madison, that was an absolute blowout. We've been talking about how bad Alabama's played on the road the last few years. They didn't play badly up north against Wisconsin last year. It was a mismatch. And if they just use their talent edge today, it's going to be a mismatch again.
Come up top of the hour, you're going to go, thunder. I want to see that Alabama swag back. I want to see him play like Legend does his segment every week. I want to see those guys get on their toes and get after it. The first 2 weeks.
I want to see Legend in the locker room firing up the team before the games. I think that's what's missing. Button down Kalen needs to get a little of enthusiasm.
That's right. Do you hear, Alabama? Do you hear? Do you know who you are? You're the Godfather.
I'm his agent for a small price.
Come on.
You can have it for a small price.
I'll tell you what, the boy, I'll come down there and do it for free. I love the Alabama Crimson Tide that month. I'll meet up in Alabama. I love it. No, hold me back.
Okay, easy, big fella, easy.
I'm starting to get on the bus.
Easy.
I'm feeling a little better this week. You can tell. Tony, can this Alabama team recover from that loss in that first game and turn it around?
Yeah, I think FSU's a lot better than we give them credit for. This is not the 2-10 team last year. They're going to be probably playing 10, 11 games in the ACC. It's not all Clemson. And, yeah, I think Alabama's got to show us something today. And I think by covering the 21 and getting a winner chicken dinner for Legend would be a good start.
Yeah, I need a win. DeBoer, help me out, man. You might become friends, maybe. Kip, let me ask you, Kip. All right. Do we need to fire a couple coordinators down there? Is that what we need to do? What does Kane Womack need to do today down there, Kipper?
Just expect the obvious, because that's what Wisconsin's going to bring. They don't have enough weapons to really scare you. So just play good fundamental defense, take away the running game, make them put the ball in the air, and all good things will happen for Alabama.
Tony.
Call me Kip, Tony. It's fine. You call me whatever you want.
I heard Ryan Grubb say this week he took it light on Ty Simpson in game 1. He won't make that mistake again. What did you see out of Ty Simpson against Monroe that leads you to believe that he is the man going forward?
Don't wait that extra half second before you throw the football. Get your reads. Go to your first or second guy. If it's the third guy, throw it out. Just let it go. He's been holding a clipboard for 3 years. You got to know what the hell he's doing when he doesn't throw the football. Now you get the football in your hand every play. Do something with it, but don't throw it away.
Hey, Alabama, Wisconsin, coming up at the top of the hour. Come down that tunnel, Alabama, when they say thunder and blow it up. Remember, it's just a game. Don't be like the starting lineup. Sports Insane.
So we're Kai Gregory on our picks. We're going to let him do picks every single week. As a matter of fact, I got his plays in my back pocket.
He rallied to go 2-1 last week after a bad start.
He did very, very well, and he's even money for the year. And, of course, you and I are leading, and you'll hear that numerous times during the show because we kick ass. We're doing really, really well, so I'm going to bring that up a lot. But, of course, Southern Precision Staffing is also doing a really fine job. For any
They're always on the leaderboard.
Construction, you name it, welding, normally construction work. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828. It's SPS, Southern Precision Staffing. Check them out. They do fantastic work. And also our good friends from Sasquatch Toys and Comics. They have just signed up for us. They're going to be on coming up in 2026. Huge toy collection down there and over 300,000 comics.
Amazing store.
At Sasquatch Toys and Comics. You've seen Seth here on the show. You got an alligator in your lap the last time he was here. Now it's comic books. It's a little more friendly.
And that guy was cold.
He was cold. Talk about K4 wins. We're doing pretty well there. 12-3 in our second weekend of college football picks.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of national prognosticators and services and experts whining about how difficult it was last weekend. Wasn't difficult for us. We kind of owned it. And Kai, who runs our website, who we just mentioned a moment ago, he admits that he got caught up in the excitement of having such a good afternoon. He didn't post a couple of our winners at night, so
I know,
ouch.
12-3, but we should have been 15-4.
Yeah.
So he did what a lot of bettors do. They're just happy with a winner chicken dinner.
Yeah, he didn't want to run that 12-3 day. So.
Well, it's kind of like having a great front nine. You're always afraid you're going to have a bad back nine.
I think I'm going to take it to the clubhouse.
Take the clubhouse. So he did it. K4wins.com, K4wins.com. Check us out. Of course, some huge plays this weekend as we got a bunch more top 25 teams getting ready to play some football. So we're going to be all over that. Should be a great time. Top of the hour, Alabama, Wisconsin, right here on ABC 3340. That's the starting lineup. K4wins.com, K4wins.com for all your plays. Go to it now.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition and liftoff. We have liftoff of Season 9 of The Morning After. Terry Quillian and Kip Keefer at the controls, delivering a payload of unlimited, invaluable information and entertainment, pinpoint analysis, and unique perspective unavailable anywhere else in the universe. A supersonic show in an orbit all of its own. If you love college football and fun, get on board. Boldly going where no football show has gone before.
Hipster, are we there yet?
On our way, Tare. Definitely on our way.
Hey, this Tuesday night at Soho Social in Homewood, Alabama, be a part of the social revolution. We will be at Soho Social Tuesday night giving away free t-shirts. We will be giving away gifts and prizes. Come out, be a part of the football trivia. These two guys right here going to be there. Tell them about it, T.
Information domination, baby, coming up at Soho. We're going to have a good time.
You can meet the legend and the legend Tony Curry. What a great opportunity. You never know who's going to be in the starting lineup, and you never know who's going to be at our weekend kickoff happy hour parties in the Social Revolution facilities.
This Tuesday night, baby. This Tuesday night at Soho Social. Get on TV.
Hey, it's Case Keefer back again for another edition of the Vegas Heaters. I am a longtime sports bettor and sports betting writer for Greenspun Media Group, which includes Las Vegas Sun and Las Vegas Weekly. Unfortunately, this section has not been doing great in the plays to start football season, specifically for the Vegas Heaters. Another 1-2 week last week. That's back-to-back 1-2s for the old dreaded 2-4, but going to do our best to turn it around this week. And kind of inadvertently, this has become a spot where I cover a lot of sports or events going on here in Las Vegas and some closer to you in Alabama. It works again this week, so I'm starting things off in the NFL Monday Night Football. Give me the hometown Las Vegas Raiders plus 3.5 hosting the Los Angeles Chargers. I just don't fully buy the Chargers. Yes, they looked good in Brazil, but I'm down on the Chiefs too. They lost their number one receiver on the opening play of the game. The Chiefs should have lost a lot more games last year. They found miracle ways to get through. So this just doesn't necessarily make me think that the Chargers are a huge threat, a huge contender now. I think that personnel-wise, the Raiders and the Chargers about even. Of course, Rashawn Slater, the Chargers' great left tackle, went down in training camp. Just because they got through one game doesn't make me think they're necessarily going to get through more. I don't love this defense. So Raiders plus 3.5. As far as the Alabama tie, I am going down to Troy, where it is Memphis at Troy. And man, the market really does not like my side on this game, but it has just moved too far to where I have to lay the 4 points with Memphis. Yes, Troy looked great last week at Clemson. Hats off, but that game was physical. It probably took a toll out of them. And it was just a week before where they were going into the fourth quarter trailing to an FCS opponent in Nichols. Memphis has a lot of talent, a lot of athletes all over the field. I think that's going to be tough to match up with. I would have passed at the opening number of 7.5, but at 4, I have to lay it. Memphis -4. And finally, from one of the first games kicking off of the day today to one of the last games, the last team I'm taking as part of the Vegas Heaters, another one the market disagrees with me at. I am taking plus 16 with Texas State going to Arizona State. I've been talking about it all offseason, how I'm relatively down on the Sun Devils. Texas State outplayed them a year ago, just lost a really close game, and I don't think this Texas State team has dropped off at all, despite losing a lot of guys through the transfer portal. In fact, I think they might even be better with their new quarterback, and it really seems like they have hit on this kid, Brad Jackson. He put up a ton of production against UTSA last week. I really want to look for spots to buy Texas State, and if this was like 14, I wouldn't, but at more than 2 touchdowns, give me Texas State plus 16. So for the Vegas Heaters, that is Texas State, the Las Vegas Raiders, and Memphis. Now for my bankroll picks, this is going a little bit better. I'm positive. I know Kip and Tony are ahead of me, but I'm just going to keep chugging, keep trying to go little by little and get up there. So I got 3 picks again, 2 in the NFL, 1 in college football, because no reason to mess with things if it's working. In college football, we're starting a game that jumped off the page of me from the very beginning this week. I spent all offseason talking up USC, saying I liked them as a long shot to get to the playoff, to win the Big Ten, but not today. I'm pumping the brakes on that. They really struggled when they traveled east last year. They traveled to Purdue this week, and look, Purdue is not great, but Barry Odom is such a hard worker, such a good coach. We saw him turn around the UNLV program after like 30 years of futility here. I think it's a similar effect in Purdue. USC has played no real defense yet. I know they're averaging 11.2 yards per play, have great receivers, but I think that Odom will throw something at him to hold him back just a little bit. So Purdue plus 21.5. Going to the NFL, though, one of the teams that provided our losses in the Vegas Heaters last week, I'm going right back to him. I like to be stubborn. I thought Michael Penix Jr. was outstanding. One of the most electric performances of week 1 no one is talking about. Yeah, I know the Falcons find a way to blow every game. They had another collapse. There was no reason they should have lost to the Buccaneers, but I was so impressed by them, and I cannot believe this line that they are a 5-point underdog going to Minnesota. I make this more like 3. You could even convince me at 2.5. So Falcons +5. And finally, for the last NFL game, I'm going with another ugly dog, the Giants +6 against the Cowboys. This line was only 3 before last week. The Cowboys have one good game against a changing Eagles defense without Jalen Carter for spitting, and all of a sudden they get 3 extra points added to them. Love the Giants defensive line. Might be the best in football. I think Abdul Carter is all he's cracked up to be. So Giants +6 to go with Falcons +5 and Purdue +21.5. Those are my bankroll picks this week. Let's see what the rest of the guys have.
Welcome back to Starting Lineup. If you look at that top of that leaderboard, I know the case is the professional around here.
Tony Curry leading the pack, and Kip Keefer has slipped into second.
The big old 5-1 start of the season. Of course, I lost my last game. I only have 2 plays this week. How many plays do you have?
I'm going to go with, I'm going to put it all on one team.
Oh, my goodness
I'm
gracious.
going for the gusto.
The whole 150 on one team?
Yep.
Well, would you like
first time I've done that.
Would you like to start off, my friend?
I love the Ole Miss Rebels in Oxford this week. I watched a lot of the game via highlights against Kentucky. Everybody said, well, they didn't cover in that game. They only won by 7. But I was very impressed with how they played. I think Kiffin has that team in the right direction. I love Austin Simmons, the quarterback. And Arkansas, okay, it's down to 8.5. That's too low. I think Ole Miss beats them by several touchdowns. Arkansas getting an awful lot of credit for beating their monster opponents so far. Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. Give me them Rebels.
All right, there it is, the 150 on the Rebs.
It's all on the nose.
Legend, what you got?
Well, I'm going with a 2-team parlay this week.
Ooh, he's catch up and double up.
I'm 0-2 on the season, but me and David Legend have been in the Legend Cave going over the stats and the statistics. I like Texas A&M. Give me the 6.5 against Notre Dame. I like Alabama to destroy Wisconsin by at least 30 points. Give me Alabama. Give me A&M on a 2-team parlay for my 150 this week.
All right, Kai from Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828, taking the over 61 in Texas Tech and also taking the Oregon Ducks minus the 27. I told you I had a 24-point dog going to win outright. It's now down to 21.5. You know, up in Philadelphia, they're celebrating, of course, the Super Bowl Philadelphia Eagles. There's another team up there that's doing pretty well. That'd be the Temple Owls, Legend. I'm coming in the cave, baby. I'm coming in the cave. Look at them Temple Owls.
That's the first time Temple been mentioned in the cave.
There's a guy named Ducky who's their quarterback. It's amazing, a Ducky on an Owl team. I don't know. It just happens. And also this wonderful guy, Evan Simon, who's got 9 touchdowns, 0 picks. He ranks 3rd right now in all quarterbacks in college football going the first 3 weeks of the year. I like the Temple Owls to not only cover the 21, perhaps trip up those Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh, man.
Mateer go home. Enough of the Mateer thing all the way. Plus, you just mentioned it in the earlier segment, the Georgia Bulldogs, last 4 times they played, Kirby Smart, Josh Heupel, has won by an average of 34-14. Something else is very interesting. The last 6 years, these two teams have put up over 30 points in the first half of every one of those games. You may be looking at over that 24.5 first half. I'm taking them Georgia Bulldogs, man. They played Austin Peay. They played Marsh the first week. They've only given up 13 points. They're used to playing Clemson. They're used to playing Oregon. They play nobody. They're going to lay the absolute woodshed on the Tennessee Volunteers, make it 9 in a row. The Georgia Bulldogs will win by 3 touchdowns at Neyland Stadium this weekend against Tennessee. So it's going to be very, very exciting. It's going to be unbelievable.
The great thing about the Georgia-Tennessee game, as an Alabama fan, Tony,
one of them's going to lose.
One of them's going to lose.
I knew it.
One of them's going to lose, baby. You can't lose. You can't lose.
It really is. It's crazy. You can't lose at the top of the hour, too, because coming up here next, we have Wisconsin and Alabama. Legends got Alabama. Put some cheese on it. Go to K4Wins.com, get all of our plays, call your man, and get ready for a full day of great college football right here on the Starting Lineup.